I remember back 10 years ago when a movement developed, or developed before 10 years ago, but I just first caught note of it in 2008, 2009. It was called Zeitgeist, okay? And the envision of a near perfect world with clean water everywhere, good transportation, very few automobiles, tiny cars if they have them. Um, they have any cars, they'd be tiny automobiles. A vision of a progressive white future where certain minorities are allowed, but a lot of them that are alive now that you see are probably going to be killed off. It's part of the depopulation plan, Zeitgeist. It all goes in line with depopulation. And that's really what's going on now. The alt-right serves as a distraction because what they're really doing is they're trying to get a whiteness that not even the alt-right is talking about. They're not discussing these issues about Zeitgeist, about the depopulation plan, the Georgia Guidestones, and Ted Turner and all that stuff. There's the goal to a sustainable future is what the Zeitgeist movement is. So it tends to be, it's a plan that some of us who do live beyond depopulation times are probably going to be it. I mean, they're already starting it. That's why all the wildfires are happening in California. It's to build the Agenda 21. It's to build up the Agenda 21 structure. Some places are more behind on it. California is more ahead on it. But California's seen as a shithole state because of all the immigrants there and whatever else. But it goes beyond that. They're going to kill some of those people off too. They're going to keep enough. There's going to be enough Latinos there. Sure, there's going to be enough Arabs. There's going to be some. But the immigration you see it now is the generations after the first migrants are going to be part of this zeitgeist society where they're more succumbed or immersed into a whiteness. A deep, like a whiteness where Middle Eastern people can act white, where Mexicans can act white, where you'll have the remaining Europeans that are left acting white, a few blacks maybe that are going to act white, and that will make up the zeitgeist society. That's why all those black moms in the hood are aborting their babies, because it's designed to get the more primitive people to abort their children, or who they see as more primitive, to abort their children. That's what this is all about, you know. Whoever the elites see as more primitive, they're trying to get them to kill the babies off. It can be black, it can be white, but it just so happens they show up in most ghettos, and whenever whites live in those ghettos and abort their babies, well, white babies are going to be aborted also. But you're going to be hearing issues on my channel. You're going to be hearing core truth and a lot of principles that you're not going to hear discussed by the alt-right because they only serve as a distraction, and we have to focus back on zeitgeist again. I mean, I like the idea of a sustainable future. Don't get me wrong, I like it. And I like the idea of less people being around, less competition, more than enough resources for the population. I've always endorsed stuff like that. I actually did. And stuff like that. And that Jew that I had an argument with a couple months ago, he was cool with me and stuff. He saw me as an intelligent person, but then I found out he supported the Koch brothers, and then I was like, oh God, no. But I kind of support this zeitgeist thing, though. I mean, how it's going to work is anyone's guess, but you have the rough idea, you know, of how it's going to work, how it's laid out, what's overall going to happen. But that's what they're doing. That's why FEMA's in effect. That's why the disaster emergency people are in effect. They're in place to respond to these things happening that are helping Agenda 21 and stuff like that. And the man behind it, coincidentally, ran and owned WCW, which I watched when I was a little kid too. I actually liked it better than WWF. I thought it was more entertaining in its own way and family friendly because they weren't as raunchy back then. And even on average, WCW during Nitro wasn't as raunchy as WWE in the Attitude Era. But see, I know about all this stuff more than some of these alt-rights, it seems like. So you're going to be hearing more truth. With the racialist edge, you're going to be hearing truth on this channel. That's the bottom line. And the Georgia guidelines is the blueprint to what's really going to happen everywhere. You know, technically with Ted Turner, he's in the South. And he's a Democrat. So for the South being backwards, they still got some people who think like that too. I believe in... I do though. I believe in it to some degree. If it makes things better, if it makes people get along better, and the population's cut down, then I can't be against it necessarily. Because let's face it, I'm long over the idea that we need an all-white homeland in the Pacific Northwest, or North Dakota, or even Nova Scotia, or wherever place you want to put a white homeland or a white ethno-state. Fact is, the future is Zeitgeist. Bottom line, it's Zeitgeist. You know, that's what they're gearing for. Right or wrong, they're destroying certain people's homes. They're going to knock down a lot of slums in the future, too. And they're going to force some people... Where it won't be good, though, is where they're going to force people to live in some cubes. Like, they want people to live in big buildings and little cubes. Cheaper rent, but little cubes. Big buildings with little cubes and large parking lots. People crammed in like sardines, almost like China. They're going to have... But with less people, maybe it could work a little better and there might be a little more space. And that's the element I like about it. But not when you're crammed in like sardines like China. That I won't do. I cannot live like they do in them Asian countries. I'd be fucking hitting my head on every fucking door. I'm 6'5". I'd be fucking hitting my head on every door if it was like that. But in America, we're going to have probably the Zeitgeist thing. Truthfully, I'll share it on if I feel it's good for the economy, and if it's good for overall livability, I will share it on. I like the idea of it, definitely. That's why I kind of supported the Green Party a long time ago. I liked Ralph Nader, actually. And stuff like that. I liked Ralph Nader and some of his ideas. But yet someone like me wanted to go to Philadelphia, too. One of the filthiest cities on the streets, you know. At least with garbage everywhere. And I've lived in some environments with garbage everywhere, too. So, would you see people doing the right thing, recycling, or... And that's also why I was attracted to the Pacific Northwest at one time, too. It was partially the racial thing, but it was the sustainability, the recycling, the beer scene, the beer, the indie scene, and whatever. I do a platitude of things, a plethora of things drew me to the Northwest. Partially the racial thing, too, but other stuff as well. And I was once a Green Party type person. Green/third party is really what I was. And what I still am at the core. I don't think Democrats or Republicans should be supported. If you have to transfer to one of them to get more support, then you're going to be compromised either way. And you go outside that box, and they're going to try to kill you. Bottom line. I want more people to wake up to the reality. My vision of reality could be different than a total egalitarian's, because I'm still a bit racialist. I don't think that's going to go away. I think I'm red-pilled for life in some aspects. And I'm speaking on someone who's going to be red-pilled in many aspects for much of his life going forward. But But where I can make a change is notice all the other problems going on and see if they can be worked towards. I really feel like I'm like kind of like a Bible Belt Christian without Jesus. I'm agnostic. That's the only difference, but I'm very conservative. But I'm agnostic, and I'm like more Green Party, and I like sustainable things a bit more. But that's about it. I mean, the anti-pot stance is still the same as Christians. But really, that's the bottom line, though. I'm just gonna stick with this. I think that Zeitgeist is the way of the future, or something like it, even if they're not going to 100% call it Zeitgeist. I think we're headed there, though, slowly but surely. Libertarianism is kind of old and outdated now, too. We're not going to get things like 1775 again. That's just going to be nonsense, 1776. So we have to move forward. I think Zeitgeist is the way forward, folks. That's it. So that's it right now.